Hi Virgo, how's it going? We are here with a timeless reading. Welcome. The first card that we have out is Ten of Swords. And King of Swords. Oh, something that was coming through was that when I was going through my deck, which I use to figure out who I'm going to be reading for, like which sign, your card came out and then an Aquarius card fell out. And so you could possibly have something going on with Aquarius. It could just be something prominently within your chart. Just in case that's significant, wanted to throw that out there. So we have Ten of Swords, we have King of Swords, and we have Six of Cups. I feel like there's something very reminiscent here that you're thinking about. Ten of Swords can be when things feel difficult. Ten of Swords can also be something here that we're recalling that was a challenging time. You can see this as a challenging time that's over with now. This can feel like you're moving back into a place that feels more emotional. There can also be stuff from the past that's sort of being conjured up at this time as well. Starting off with Ten of Swords can mean like some tough time is over now, and you can be feeling a bit more nostalgic or just a bit more sweet or a bit more sort of present to what's going on emotionally currently. Maybe you also don't want to be inundated by nostalgic things, because this is kind of feeling like something coming through. This is the Six of Cups. Six of Cups is seen as like a nostalgic card that contains like memories and sweet times within it, and I almost see that as sort of being one of the things that's coming at you right now, and you may be sort of dodging this a little bit. It's like you can't help but think about it. At the same time, it may be something that you're dodging a little. Maybe you don't want it to weaken something that you're intending to do. Because Seven of Wands is usually when we're on a mission of some sort, and maybe you don't want this to douse that. Wow, Seven of Pentacles and the Death card. Seven of Pentacles in the most basic form of this is connected with an investment, something that we've been investing in. When we have the Death card, it shows that there can be an immediate stop, and this can mean too that you were sort of in the process of something, and then just like that it comes to an end, or it's not going to be like that anymore. I wonder if this was something that happened though that you're recalling now. It can feel difficult because the notion of Seven of Pentacles and Death is you're in the middle of something and then an abrupt ending happens and things change after that point. So the nature of what was going on before, you can't go back to it in the same exact way. Something has shifted. And this can be like, sure, the actual thing that was happening is not happening like that anymore, but it can mean like my mindset, something happened and it really changed. It can be my psychology, my perspective really changed. And you can feel like you've just been going through a lot of really challenging stuff. I feel more like psychologically and mentally than anything, because we have the King of Swords here. So this is all like what goes on in your head. Having the Death card there can be a lot of stock that you're taking here I feel like more so what's closed out. Because this can be painful endings that you're thinking about, can be painful situations that you've gone through, painful moments that you've experienced, ways that you've changed going through what you've gone through, ways that it has impacted you in the ways that it's impacted you. Because Death card is going to be the most challenging stuff. It's also the most transformative stuff as well. Okay, can we like rewind a little bit? Something that I'm seeing here, it feels like you presently have something that's going on, okay? Something presently that you're involved in. So there's that. That's one thing. Let's say that that's in a container by itself. It feels like you're having like flashbacks and stuff of moments and endings and other things. This feels like some really heavy psychological, emotional, energetic stuff that's coming up. And I wonder if this is bringing up fear for you about what you currently have going on and being like, hey, don't stop me from doing what I'm trying to do here. But you almost like can't help but think about these things from the past. It's like, let's say that you're in the middle of a painting right now and you've been like investing in this painting, you've been like doing your thing here, you have the canvas, it's like not finished, you're in the middle of that process and you're remembering like all of the paintings that like got destroyed or that you didn't get to finish or like this happened and that happened, and then it feels like that. It's like while you're currently doing something presently, I feel almost like all of this stuff from the past is coming back up. And this feels like heavy stuff from the past, like stuff that you were heavily energetically involved and also heavily energetically impacted by those things. But it feels like it's not happening now, but it can feel like you're experiencing it now, even though it happened in the past. This can be stuff that you still feel a type of way about, because it definitely looks like stuff that hasn't fully been integrated that's coming back up. I feel like this is a really heavy time psychologically speaking that you are going through, because it feels like, you know, actually what this reminds me of, you know, in a movie, like when somebody's about to die, they like have all of those flashbacks and you see like birthdays and people blowing out candles and then you see them like crying on their knees and you see this happen. It's like all those really like dramatic, significant moments sort of flashing before their eyes. I'm seeing that's going on here. So you're like in the middle of doing something and then I'm seeing like energetically you shifting into that place where it's like your life flashing or lives flashing like before your eyes. But then having that Five of Swords here, I feel like this is stuff that for some reason it's coming up because it needs to be worked out in some way. Because it feels like this isn't just coming back up so you can like see it one last time. This feels like it's coming up because you have some type of work to do with it. And I feel like this is work that needs to be done because you can feel like you're still being impacted by these things in a way that you don't want to be. You can feel like this is unfinished business that is coming back up. Because I'm seeing this Five of Swords. I feel like this is unfinished business. I feel too like because of the really dense, painful stuff that you've gone through, when Six of Cups comes up, meaning like when those nice times come up emotionally, you can feel like scared of that. And it can be something that actually feels really triggering. Like, I'm saying scared as an umbrella term. Like, this can be something where it's like a nice, something sentimental, or something like really sweet emotionally comes up, and you can feel like danger towards that popping up. Because you can think back and say, when I've enjoyed things, like stuff has come to an end, or when I let myself really be connected within that and be there wholeheartedly, like really painful stuff has happened. And so now that that's coming up, like I have an association that I make that every time that sweet stuff comes up, I'm associating that with the pain that I've been through. And so I want to keep that sort of away, because this is stuff that still hasn't been worked through fully. It hasn't been processed. So there's still that unfinished business. And I do feel like it's coming up because it's pertinent to something that you have going on presently. Like, you have something that's going on right now that you're involved in, and there is fear that's coming up, and it's associated with your past stuff that hasn't totally been integrated. And I feel like it's attributing to your like defensiveness, or your pushing away in some way, or you're not allowing. Let's get a clarifier for Seven of Wands. I feel like this is like not allowing something to get too close. But at the same time, another way that this can be is that Nine of Swords can be coming up and saying like, isn't this so scary? And there can be a part of you that's like, I still am trying to do what I'm trying to do here and not be deterred by my fear coming up or my anxiety coming up. So I wonder if that's how the Seven of Swords is taking place. Or it's the Seven of Wands, not the Seven of Swords. That's kind of what this is feeling like to me. Like, if you're doing something and you start feeling like freaked out about like this investment of yours, and you're like, what if this happens? What if that happens? It feels like you have to put in a lot of effort to work with that very anxious part of yourself, or that very worried part of yourself, or that very fearful part of yourself. And that you can feel like you really have to stand your ground with that mental part of yourself to not be completely taken over by that. And it's like a battle that's happening right now. That's what I'm seeing be taking place. I see fear as being at the helm of this. Maybe also to not be controlled by the fear, and that's something that's being worked through as well. Like, maybe not wanting that to be the thing that's determining. Some of you relationships, partnerships have to do with this. get the feeling like something that you've been doing, you look at it and it looks different to you. Like there's a different lens that's there, and it can be one that you feel kind of set off by this change, by something looking different to you, and that is currently what's being worked through. And this feels like a really deep dive that's happening psychologically that you're moving through right now. Because with the Ten of Swords and the King of Swords, I feel like something that's been really hard on you, mentally taxing, has concluded. And then having that Six of Cups there can be a warmth emotionally that sort of begins surrounding you. So you can be between the two of those, like pain on this side, warmth and nostalgia on this side, and you sort of being in the middle of that. And I wonder too if this is like a relationship between when you go through something that feels like it sort of strips you bare, there is that looking for comfort, there is that desire for comfort. It's like you go through something that feels disruptive or challenging, and then looking for what is going to be soothing, like naturally, to like create that balance where it feels like there's a lack, to sort of balance out the extreme. And then also some type of notion about being unwavering mentally and not giving up. And I think not being persuaded by some type of extreme here as well, but to come into a place of balance. Think mostly for yourself. And then all of this coming back to something that you currently have going on that can be bringing up a lot of, you have something currently going on, and there's something about like extreme anxiety and fear that is attached to this for you for some reason. Maybe for many reasons. And then also feeling like there is this, I think, resistance at times to surrendering. Almost feeling like there's a lack of trust for that process of purging and transformation. I feel almost like these processes that you go through where you can keep like a small part of yourself out of the like force of that. It's like if you see these transformational processes as like water, it's like you keep like a part of your body out of it. So like most of you is impacted by it, but there's like a part of you that doesn't totally go under. That's kind of what this feels like to me. And I do see it as being like a safety precaution. It's like surrendering like 90%, but not that 10% that's needed. And I think sort of this maybe like unwillingness or stubbornness at times that also comes to play as well. It's like the fine line between, are you just being stubborn and resistant to what is, or are you standing up and doing what needs to be done? And feeling a little bit of maybe like conflict between what those things would be. Like, are you just being stubborn and not giving something up that needs to be given up, where you're being asked to surrender? Or are you fighting for something that matters to you and you're not meant to like bend the knee here, and trying to make sense of that for yourself? when we go through something that is the Ten of Swords, it feels so taxing, so challenging on a psychological level that sometimes the only way we know how to handle that and deal with that is to transition into the Five of Swords, which is that armoring that we do. But it doesn't end there. Like, that's not the end of the storyline then, because there's going to be more stuff that happens after that. Because ending with the Five of Swords is ending in a place of conflict where change is going to have to happen, and so it's not the ending there, but that is where this reading ends. And so I feel this notion of like something has happened and this is sort of the response. This is how one has sort of adapted to what has taken place, and that there's going to be more change that happens. There's going to be more stuff that ends up being worked out. Like, the storyline doesn't end here, but this tarot reading, this is where it ends. But there's going to be more that happens within the energy. So that's where I'm seeing us be. Some of you, there's definitely stuff about like past that is connected with this, and I do feel like for some of you it can be family stuff, or it can just be like emotional stuff from the past that is present within the theme of this. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.